Welcome, everybody, this evening. It's very nice to see all of you here tonight. Tonight, we are going to explore and celebrate the worldwide alliance between two internationally recognized organizations, Toastmasters International and Rotary International. And just to give you just a really brief recap of each organization, Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million people. They see themselves as leaders and problem solvers who see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change. For more than 110 years, Rotary's people of action have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take on sustainable projects. From literacy and peace to water and health, they are always working towards a better world. Their mission is to provide service to others, promote integrity, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through fellowship. The vision statement is, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. We have better than 360,000 members in 16,200 clubs and 145 countries. Since 1924, Toastmasters has helped people from all backgrounds, all walks of life, to become more confident speakers, communicators, and leaders. The mission of any Toastmaster club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning experience in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. Both organizations offer tremendous potential for both professional and personal growth. In some of the meetings that we've gone through already as we were organizing this workshop tonight, I heard it explained or described as Rotarians being those who go out into the world and foster change, whether it be building schools, bringing in medical help, digging wells around the world. Their adventures and their missions create change. But then they come home, and that's where Toastmasters can help Rotarians by helping you learn to be better communicators, better speakers, so that you can confidently go out and share your experience with the world. So the purpose this evening is to discuss the parallels between the two organizations and to show, hopefully, how dual memberships can be exactly what we need in both our personal and professional life. We have some distinguished members from both organizations here this evening, and I am just so happy, so honored that you came. We have Rotarian Mary Turner, who is the current district governor. We have Rotarian Martin Parnell, who is district governor-elect for 21-22, and Steve Levitt, who is district governor nominee for 22-23. We have Toastmaster Christina Cruz, who is our current District 42 director, and Toastmaster Jocelyn Hastings, our immediate past District 42 director. Now, we do have a chat master this evening, so if you have a question that you want to document before you forget, please feel free to put it into chat. But there will be a question and answer period at the end of this evening's presentation. So if you can just make sure you remember your questions, there will be an opportunity to get the answers. To start the discussion off this evening, has Steve arrived? No?
I don't see him, Laura.
It's Franco Savoia, and I'm pinch hitting for him tonight.
Oh, are you Franco? Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. To
You're
start
welcome.
this evening off then, we will have Franco and Mary as Rotarians and Christina. Oh, pardon me. I just got all fumble-mouthed. Let me start over. We are going to see a PowerPoint presentation, and it will be Christina and Jocelyn and Franco presenting that. So are you ready to start your PowerPoint? Yes?
I can start that now. Thank you, Laura.
I will turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Jocelyn speaking. Merriam-Webster defines momentous as having great or lasting importance, consequential, significant. I can't think of a better word to describe our alliance. The benefits to both organizations and their members are significant. It is my absolute honor to be with you this evening to introduce this exciting alliance between Rotary and Toastmasters, and how together we can develop extraordinary people who put their leadership and communication skills into action to tackle some of the world's biggest challenges. Toastmasters and Rotary are two organizations with long histories, a global impact, and proven track records of helping people. Our alliance will leverage the strengths of both of our organizations to help members grow, both personally and professionally. Some Toastmasters and Rotarians have already teamed up in their Rotary and Toastmasters Club. Rotarians say they benefit from their Toastmasters membership and point to the improvement in their communication and leadership skills through applying the Toastmasters program. When Toastmasters join Rotary clubs, they use their advanced communication and leadership skills to serve in their communities. This evening, we have several members of both organizations, and they're going to share how they plan to use the combination of organizations for personal development and for community service. In our time together today, we will look at the similarities between our organizations, discuss the roles of our alliance, and then have lots of time to answer your questions. What is Toastmasters? As Laura touched on earlier, Toastmasters was founded in 1924 and has literally helped millions of men and women throughout the globe and throughout its history. The success of the program is evident. We have nearly 17,000 Toastmasters clubs spread across 143 countries and 360,000 members, split almost evenly among those residing in North America and those throughout the rest of the globe. Toastmasters members, as you know, become confident, effective communicators and leaders, and the skills are directly transferable into both their personal and professional lives. Growth and empowerment are at the heart of our Toastmasters experience. We have a structured program offering the opportunity to practice public speaking, both prepared and impromptu, and to help receive motivational feedback. Of course, this means we get the rare opportunity to practice preparing and delivering evaluations, a skill that can be hard to find a place to practice. As you may be thinking, there are a lot of similarities between our organizations. Where there are differences, they are complementary, and as Laura said, parallel. Franco said, it's a marriage made in heaven, and I think Franco's right. In fact, I think he's so right, I'm going to pass it on to him next. Franco.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I've been a Rotarian for about 25 years, and I'm now the president of the Sunrise Toastmasters Club here in Calgary. So I'm delighted to be here in my person to speak about how these similarities come together. You can kind of see the missions and vision statements that together in Rotary, as a Rotarian and as Rotarians, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. And then for us as Toastmasters, we say we empower individuals to become more effective communications and leaders. You put those two things together and you begin to see how we can, in fact, working together, we can leverage with the strength of both organizations to really make our communities a better place throughout the world. Next slide, please. And then when you look at our core values, and again, for us as Toastmasters, we already know the respect and excellence. And then on the Rotary side, the leadership, diversity, and fellowship. And you can see together that how much these synchronize and fit together between what we're both doing. Next slide, please. And by the way, sorry, just coming up, you can just see that the core is service and integrity. For Rotarians, it's about service above self. And certainly for us, in my experience in Toastmasters, the whole notion of integrity, to being truth to yourself and to your community and your communication. Next slide, please. And here are our taglines. In Rotary, and there are some Rotarians in the room here this evening, it's service above self. At the end of the day, it's not about ourselves, it's not about our ego, it's not even about Rotary, but it's about service, service above self to the community. And to support that, there's a 4-way test that each Rotarian in their work and in their practice really tests that. Is it fair to all? I mean, just to use one. And then in Toastmasters, we say that where leaders are made. And certainly what brought me Toastmasters was to improve some of my skills in public speaking 4 years ago. And then in that process, I'm president as well of the club for this year. So you can just see that like the synergy of our two organizations, and it's unfortunate we waited so long to bring it together as far as I'm concerned. Next slide, please. And then our organizational structure, both of our organizations are largely, or almost 90, 100% volunteer driven. So you can see on the one side, on the left here, in terms of we have a club. This is really starting at the very bottom, or in this case, the very top, is where you have a Rotary club. It's got a board of directors that elects, no different than we do as Toastmasters. And then really a whole structure to support the local club, including right down to the Rotary International President and Toastmaster International President. You can just again see the parallels and why we're doing this tonight. And in fact, last Saturday, we did it with Rotarians, what we're doing here today. So, or this evening, I should say. So I think very much it's really is synchronized. I mean, there is a synchronization here, which is just beyond what it like just makes absolute sense. Next slide, please. Now, I think I can't remember. I'm going to ask Christina. Am I speaking to this, or is someone else speaking to this?
I think Rebecca's ready to take over now, Franco.
Wonderful. Let me pass it. I didn't know she was here. Yeah, Rebecca, right. You're on.
Thank you, Franco.
Thank you, Franco. And I wanted to talk about the benefits of both organizations. I joined Rotary this year. I've been with Toastmasters for a few years, and I see the benefits of both organizations. Each of us has wonderful opportunities for networking. Toastmasters offers networking within leadership, communication. We step outside, we do contests, whereas Rotary, we give back to the community. That is the biggest reason I joined Rotary this year, because I've already met a lot of fantastic Rotarians. And some of those Rotarians have visited Toastmasters Club. Same thing. It's something that we can benefit off of each other. The volunteer capabilities. I already know the club that I'm a part of, the Rotary Club of Downtown Calgary. They're doing events almost every single month. I've been a part of helping out with the Ride to Polio, where we raise money in order to help cure polio across the world. That is exciting. That gives me a little bit. Toastmasters helps me with my confidence and speaking skills. And now I can go to Rotary and I can contribute some of these skills, because I'm not sure if I would have joined Rotary if it wasn't for Toastmasters, because I was shy 2 years ago. But now that I'm seeing these opportunities come across, I hop on board to them. In another way, we can look at this alliance as a momentous alliance, because our two organizations coming together and conducting like joint Toastmasters and Rotary Club meetings, that might be really cool, because I have already met a lot of Rotarians. They have a lot of stories to share. And I know as Toastmasters, I think we can learn a thing or two about them and even give back to our communities. You don't have to be a Rotary member to volunteer with them, but it'll give you stories to tell your families. You'll have an opportunity to maybe go out once COVID is resolved, maybe go out and help out with barbecues. Because I know some of the local Rotary clubs do that. They have stampede things. Wouldn't that be cool to take a Rotarian and welcome to a Toastmaster club, and vice versa? Inviting a Rotarian to be a guest speaker, or maybe going and checking out some of the local clubs. Some of the goals we have include conducting joint meetings with Toastmasters Rotarians, inviting them to be guest speakers, or sharing with each other on our learning opportunities, how we can collaborate. And collaboration is key here. We share quite a few similarities, as Franco has already mentioned, as Jocelyn has indicated. We can build on these relationships. We have leaders in our organization, and Rotary has leaders in their organization. Coming together, we can make a difference. I really do believe that both of these organizations make a huge difference in the world. Toastmasters has an education department. We develop communication and leaders, whereas Rotary, they're out in the community. I still can't see. I agree wholeheartedly with Franco when it's a marriage made in heaven. Toastmasters has actually developed 8 co-branded communication leadership skills, materials that are available for Rotarians. Now this is expanded. All the ones that are colored in red, those are available. So the inclusive leadership one, that is still a module that is being delivered to Rotarians. These modules are structured the exact same thing as pathways. Rotarians are being given the opportunity to work on a speech, and in this speech they'll be receiving feedback. Isn't this a great opportunity for us to go visit one of their clubs and maybe help them out with this, and vice versa? Continuing on, this presentation will be our current District 42 Division Director, Christina Cruz.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. I love your enthusiasm for this alliance and being a member of both. Thank you too, Franco. Rotarians do incredible work all over the world, making a difference, the quality of life of others. They have stories to share, and Toastmasters can help them share their stories. Toastmaster members can take their personal journey further through Rotary by using their communication and leadership skills to serve their communities. Toastmasters strive for self-improvement. Rotarians put service above self. Rotarians learn how to tell their stories, and Toastmasters help them. Rotary members can use the Toastmaster skill development to more effectively tell their stories. And Rebecca's just giving you some examples of those modules that are now available on your website, Rotarians. Toastmasters can use their skills to benefit their communities and to find new stories to tell. We have so much to learn from one another and so much to give each other. Rotary service projects are inspiring. Toastmasters learn how to inspire with their words. We have an incredible opportunity for both organizations to work together and to use our shared and unique strengths. Imagine how much more inspirational and effective we could be together. Meetings that I visited had wonderful speakers, and the reports about the projects to help others with fresh water, vaccines, and support were extremely inspiring. The ongoing relationship between the two organizations will begin at the grassroots levels and local club members learning and working together. The sum is greater than the parts. We have begun to communicate the benefits of our two organizations to each other's members, like we're doing today. There are opportunities for us to share, opportunities for us to experience mutual benefits for our members and mutual benefits for both of our organizations through this momentous alliance. Over to you, Laura.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really well done and very, very interesting. Next to the lectern will be Rotarian Mary Turner. Mary is going to share with us her thoughts and her journey with Rotary International. Mary, are you ready?
I am ready. Thank you so much, Laura, and it's a real pleasure to be with all of you this evening. Thank you so much for including us in your meeting tonight. I'd like to start by telling a little bit about how Rotary is structured and how I got to be in the role that I'm in. And thank you to Franco for that really clear picture of how the two organizations are so similarly structured. I was asked by a colleague at work to join Rotary about 12 years ago, and after being quite reluctant at the beginning, I joined Rotary and got quite involved with our local club here in Olds. I was able to take on various levels of leadership at our local club, ending up being the club president in 2014. After that, I was kind of interested in what the next level up was like at the district level. And our district is quite wide and large. We go from about Ponoka in the north of our district through to the US border. We cover clubs in Kindersley and Swift Current, Saskatchewan, right through to the British Columbia border. So all in all, we have about 48 to 50 clubs, and we have quite a number of Interact clubs, which are for high school students, and Rotaract clubs, which are for college and university students. So it's quite a large geography. We have between 16 and 1700 Rotarians in that geography. So that's about the size of what we call a district. I got involved at the district level being the assistant governor, which is a role whereby Rotarians are looking after a number of clubs under their leadership and their guidance. They help facilitate clubs in getting things done that sometimes need a little bit of extra help from district leaders. After being an assistant governor for a couple of years, I was asked to sit on the district board, and from then ended up with my hat tossed in to be district governor. And after a little while, that opportunity has presented itself. For us, just like Toastmasters, the year of being district governor is a one-year term. It goes from July the 1st right through until June the 30th. So Christina and I are kind of on the same journey. We're almost halfway through our path and halfway through our year in this role. I wanted to tell you a little short story, and I think we have a little bit of time. I'd like to share with you one project that I've been involved in with our district. And it's a project that has covered a number of clubs throughout our district. And I hope by the end of this story, you will look at school buses, ambulances, fire trucks, and handy buses a little differently than you do tonight. So this story goes back 10 years ago, but I didn't get involved until just recently. And the reason I got involved was because the fire truck in Olds was being donated to a project called the Los Amigos Project. Some Rotarians from Lethbridge came up to our club, and they were thrilled to hear that we were donating our fire truck to their project. And they were looking for drivers. Well, can you imagine how much fun would it be to jump in a fire truck and drive it from Lethbridge to Mazatlan, Mexico? I put my hand up right away. I thought that'd be so cool. And they said, oh yeah, you just have to be a Rotarian. The insurance will cover it. It's not a problem, Mary. Well, then I discovered that it's a double stick shift in a fire truck. I mean, I've driven a motorhome. I was cool with that, but the thought of driving a double stick shift fire truck from Lethbridge to Mazatlan terrified me, and I pulled out immediately. Well, they said, we have another plan for you. You could come down as an ambassador. You could fly down, meet us at the airport in Mazatlan. We've got some other Rotarians that'll drive the convoy down, and you can meet us there. So that's exactly what I did. I didn't get involved in the 8-day journey. We took fire trucks down, we took ambulances, we took school buses, and we took some handy buses. And it was an amazing sight to see these vehicles drive in from Lethbridge right through the US into Mexico and into the city of Mazatlan. I was involved in the key ceremony when these vehicles were donated to communities in need, communities that hadn't got these kinds of service vehicles in their towns. And you know, the day before we did the official key ceremony, and I know to the Rotarians on the call, I apologize, you've heard the story. There was a terrible accident on the highway, and that terrible accident had 3 people trapped in a vehicle. It just so happened that on that fire truck that came from Olds, there was a piece of equipment called the Jaws of Life. And as many of you know, the Jaws of Life is a hydraulic piece of equipment that's used to open damaged vehicles to let people, victims of accidents, get safely taken out of the damaged vehicle. Well, in the entire city of Mazatlan, they didn't have that piece of equipment. And 3 people were trapped that very day in a very bad accident. They grabbed the equipment off our truck and they used it that very day to get these people out of the terrible wreck. And on the next day, all over the front pages of the Mazatlan newspapers, there were stories about the Rotarians in our district and for the gracious gift, not only of the vehicles, but particularly of the Jaws of Life that had saved 3 Mexican lives that particular day. I tell you, as a Rotarian, I was just so pumped up and so proud to be a part of that organization and a part of the trip that had made all of this come together. And as a Rotarian, it's just a really awesome feeling to see the difference that our work is doing in small communities all across the countryside outside of Mazatlan. To know that hospitals that have 400 beds in them now have more than 1 ambulance to cover all of the needs of that hospital. To know that cities like Mazatlan have the Jaws of Life in their capacity to use when accidents like that happen. It was quite an amazing opportunity for us as Rotarians. The project continues year after year, and this year, this last October, like a month ago, it would have been the 10th anniversary of this Los Amigos project. Of course, with COVID happening, the borders are crossed and the convoy could not happen, but it will be happening again next October. So for all of you Toastmasters out there who aren't yet Rotarians, the only qualification to drive the fire truck down to Mazatlan is you need to be a Rotarian to get your insurance covered. So there's a little bit of an incentive to come and join Rotary, come and check us out. And maybe if you've got that inner passion inside your heart to drive an ambulance to Mazatlan, this may be your golden opportunity. So there's my little story about an international project that we're involved in our district. There's tons of others. As it was mentioned earlier, Rotarians have lots of stories to share, and that's just one. I do want to end by saying a big thanks to Jocelyn, to Christina, and to Franco. Earlier on in our alliance, I told them that I needed to polish my speech making because as part of the role as district governor, we need to visit every club. And as part of that visitation process, there's a speech that needs to be spoken at each club meeting. So I used them and I practiced on them, and they gave me lots of feedback and lots of tips from their Toastmaster background. And I would just like to say a quick thank you to them for helping me with my district governor talk and with the presentations that I've had to do so far in my district governor journey. So thank you very much to my new Toastmaster friends, and I'll hand it back over to you, Laura.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was, I actually had tears. I was smiling and I had tears. What an amazing gift you were able to give the city of Mazatlan. That's truly heartwarming. You know, it's not often that something like this can actually come together where everybody gets as much time as they need to express themselves and be done on time. It is 8:29, and unless we have another question, no, then I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt thank you to Mary Turner, to Franco, to Christina Cruz and Jocelyn Hastings, to Martin Parnell. Let me see, who am I missing? Our timer, Loretta Gibbons, our chat master, Kike, our tech person, Rebecca Klepik. It takes a whole village to make something like this come together. And I happen to have one of the best villages in the world, right here amongst my fellow Toastmasters. Now, I have one last question that just crossed my mind. Franco, did I hear you say there was a fire sale on Rotary memberships right now? Or do I actually have to be under 40 to take advantage?
No, you have to be younger. Yes.
Okay, damn. All right. Well, it is 8:30, and please feel free to stick around if you'd like to chat with others here on Zoom this evening. But as of this moment, this workshop and this meeting is officially adjourned.